Shalom, everybody. This is Olivier Melnick with Shalom and Messiah, and I'm very, very excited today because I have some special guests coming from the other side of the pond. I've got two friends here from Israel. They are serving with the IDF, and it's going to be a great show. I have so much I want to talk about, but I don't want to spend too much time doing the introduction. I want to remind you to subscribe at on YouTube, Shalom and Messiah Ministry, or you can go to our website at shalomandmessiah.com and connect with us. And this way, you can also we have a special place on our website where you can get news from Israel and you can get all kinds of different resources. So please connect, tell your friends so you won't miss any of the shows we'll be doing in the future. So I don't want to wait. I want to get started here. So I'm going to introduce, we're going to start with the guy in the white shirt. Who are you?
Great. Thank you, Olivier, for having us. My name is Elia Lefkowitz. I'm 34 years old, originally from Seattle, Washington. I grew up around the world. My parents worked for the Jewish Agency, so Costa Rica, Mexico, United States, Venezuela. So I've been everywhere. I'm married to Adina and have two amazing boys, Lavi, who is 4 years old, and Noam, almost 2 years old.
Zaki?
Hello, everybody, and thanks again, Olivia, for having us here. I'm Liad Zaki, 47 years old, married to Ariella. I have three boys. The older boy is in the army. He's a soldier, 8 months recruited, and I'm happy to be here with Olivia.
So Zaki, I never get tired of saying this because I think it's amazing, and I want our audience to understand this because I think it's a different. There's a different. It's culturally it's different. How old are you, Zaki?
47.
You're 47 and your son is 19, right?
Yes.
And your son is serving in the IDF and you're serving in the IDF.
Yes, we both serve in the IDF.
Not in the same unit, though.
No, not in the same unit.
Does that happen? The father and son in the same unit, or do you try not to?
No, we're trying to not to do it. But in special occasion, it can happen. The in reserve unit, we have a father and son who are serving together in the same unit.
And reserve, how much of a percentage of reserve is in Israel?
1%.
No. How much of the entire IDF is from reserve?
So currently, so I'll say before October 7 and today. So before October 7, reserves were we have about 55,000 active duty soldiers, and reserves was around twice than that. But the idea with reserves was to have us just in 20 30 days a year and in needs for wars. So what happened on October 7 was that we have today more than I think now it's around 300,000. On the maximum we had was around 400,000 individuals who came back and did reserves. We're in a special reserve unit, so what that means is that we have more intensive training, more budget, and more activities that we do. A lot of the units are much less efficient and kind of like ready than us, but that's our goal. That's the reason for having us.
And you guys are with what we call the paratroopers.
Yes.
But you don't jump off planes a lot.
No, we don't jump. It's like a special training. We have to reserve it, but actually, in the last 60 years, there is no IDF didn't use parachuting as a combat ability.
Since 1956?
Yes.
Since מבצע קדש in 1956.
Okay.
Yes.
Now you said something in another interview that was interesting, and I want you to kind of maybe talk a little bit on this, Ilya, because I was thinking you guys are you're serving a reserve maybe 30, 40 days a year. The rest of the time you do your day job, and everybody is different. Um, and then you're called uh, out of reserve. It's like, you know, forgive my analogy, but it's like pulling a tool out of a toolbox that you haven't used for a while. And it's kind of like, it's, you got to clean it up. So what happened on October 7th? A lot of you got in and you got called back, but you were mentioning yesterday that this was a good thing because now the IDF it's getting better. So explain
Yes.
that.
So, in regards, as you said, on October 7th, it was a big surprise for all of us. As all of you know, October 7th was in a Jewish holiday, Simchat Torah. Uh, and that's the holiday for the kids. So I have to say that my kids were so excited that they woke up already at 7 in the morning, waiting just to go to the synagogue. And on 6:29, we started having sirens. And I'm not ultra orthodox. I'm orthodox, so I don't use the phone during holidays and on a Shabbat. But after a few minutes, I understood that something severe, something different is happening. So I opened my phone and got a phone call about 10 minutes later from my chief commander of our unit, and we decided that we're going either way, although we didn't get called yet. And that was a crucial decision because our unit was one of the first reserve unit to get into Gaza village, Kfar Gaza, and to take part in the fight. And that decision that we made pretty much by ourselves was crucial in saving lives. In regards to the readiness of uh, the reserves as a whole, so yes, the reserves, we have kind of like a 3 months period on paper for getting into any war. As you all know, this war is already 13 months in the making, and we don't see it ending soon. So yes, we weren't. The plans weren't for this to happen, but the good side I could say is that before October 7, in the last 18 years, we didn't have any real activity, real war experience.
Right.
And today, I have to say that our forces are 10 times more prepared for any outcome that will come from anywhere in the world. Iran, we have 7 fronts. Of course, we know that Iran's the kind of like the head of the snake and dictates what will happen in the different regions. So Israel is capable today even more to protect itself and finish the deal. Of course, we need the support of you guys and the world in doing the right move.
Is it fair to say that Israel is cannot afford to go back to anything uh, that they did before October 7th, and things are going to change now as far as um, how? I mean, I'm looking at Gaza. We hear from our end in the U.S. that Gaza is what 75, 80% cleaned up from from Hamas, but there's a lot of people that live there, and so when they go back, how is it going to be governed, and is Israel going to be in a place where they're going to have to leave a certain amount of people to kind of keep an eye and make sure that things don't get out of control? What do you think it's going to work?
Well, I think, for my opinion, IDF have to be stay in the Gaza territory in some several points, strategic points. Like you said, to keep eye on the Hamas is not armed again and not planning to do October 7 or something similar again to Israel. Yeah, so yes, it's the most important thing that IDF is stay in the strategic point in Gaza Strip.
So in Hamas, I mean, Hamas is not completely gone. You mentioned something. I'd like you to mention that again if you can. The idea that you have like little pockets, but that you cut
Yeah.
the leadership. How's that going to affect?
So, as you all hear in the news, in Lebanon and also in Gaza, we have been, first of all, we're winning big. But as Olivier said, we're talking about 75 to 80% of the Hamas leadership and terrorist kind of like infrastructure getting destroyed. But with that said, as soon as you get into the 20% that has are still there, they're now more kind of like guerrilla groups, militias of few individuals, three, four, five, six, and sometimes it's harder to fight those militias because they don't have, the intelligence can work, and it's more kind of like guerrilla wars. And I need to get a bit more into what Zaki was speaking about in regards to the future in those locations. So I think the understanding of Israel, and I hope the world as well, is that currently in both sides, we don't have a resolution that is okay with Israel or with the world. And we're looking for something like that. I believe that Israel will be part of that resolution because without that, it's something we can't afford trusting. Not UNIFIL, not the United Nations, not the Arab nations that don't want to be part of it as well. So we need to find a resolution, and also the Palestinian Authority that probably are not capable on doing something like that. So any resolution, in our opinion, and it's just our opinion,
Right.
would be in in contact with Israeli forces that will be governing it or there physically, and that's what we think will be happening in the next couple of years.
Next couple of years.
Yes.
So this is going to be ongoing for a while.
Uh, the war might end. And when I say end, it's more getting into a resolution that will happen in the next weeks or months. That could be even, after the US elections. Hopefully we get the right president to help get a good kind of like negotiation and deal. But even when it happens, we will still have work to do there. So even if the war ends tomorrow, we believe that in the next at least 12 months, we will have to be there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah. Now you there's still last time I heard there was still 101 hostages not returned, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know anything about. I mean, you guys are still looking for them, basically. Now you were in Gaza, but you're not going back to Gaza. Your unit is not going to deploy to Lebanon to fight Hezbollah, right?
Yeah, next week we're
How
heading Lebanon.
different is Lebanon from Gaza?
Wow. The big there's a lot of difference between Gaza Strip to Lebanon. Gaza is located on the sea. It's the terrain. It's very easy to walk. It's easy to deploy supplement for the soldiers in Gaza. In Lebanon, it's the territory of Lebanon is more big. The terrain is a mountain, a lot of bushes inside, lot of big cities like Maroun Aras, Binj Bel. Um, it's a different kind of
Terrain.
terrain, and for the IDF, it's a different 100 degrees opposite of fighting. It's a different fighting.
Okay. So yeah, our ministry, Shalom and Messiah, through the help of many of our supporters and donors, and again, friends, thank you so much for that. We were able to supply you with a couple of ATV vehicles, and we're blessed that we could do that. What's going to happen to those vehicles? They're ready to go, right?
Yes, the vehicles, as you saw in the videos and pictures, were pretty much adjusted to the field and what we need. And the idea is they're part of our mobility unit. Our mobility unit works with our doctors. We have
Okay.
5 doctors and 2 paramedics
Okay.
inside our unit. And the idea for those ATVs is, first of all, getting in equipment into Lebanon or Gaza, wherever we're deployed. But also they're adjusted to evacuate in wounded soldiers, and the difference between life and death is a matter of minutes. So those ATVs will help. Hopefully, we won't need to use them,
Right.
but they're going to be extremely helpful in getting our wounded soldiers as soon as possible to helicopters or to Israeli hospitals. And it's a real game changer. This tool could really help save lives. So thank you very much, first of all, to all of you who got in and are involved. It really means a lot to all of us.
It truly is a blessing. Now, you just mentioned to me, to us, that Lebanon is a different terrain. It's hard to get in and through, and of course, they're probably better equipped as far as weapons and missiles and so I'm thinking, you want to get in, you want to try, and you've got to go rescue people or bring them supplies, but you cannot use the ATV. What do you do?
So
What's next?
today we're working on, we already have, but we've been working for the last couple of months on solutions. So when we're not inside, until today, I've been 200 days in reserves, but in the 100 days I was back home, we still work. We're doing innovation and trying new things. And one of the new additions that we just finished, kind of like evaluating and doing trials with, is a new drone.
Oh,
Uh,
those little drones?
it's more like a mini helicopter.
Really?
It
How big is it?
Olivier, I think it could take 45 kilos, so that's like 80 pounds more or less.
Wow.
So almost it could take you maybe. No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
yeah, you're so kind. You're so kind. I'm more than 80 pounds.
Yeah, but
But so it can, and how far does it go?
so it could go about 6 mile in, and we're using some hacks to take it even further. But the idea is, the ATVs are great, but when you put soldiers in a Humvee or a ATV inside and to bring things, they're at
You put
risk.
them at risk.
You put
Yes.
them at risk,
Yes.
and this tool helps us get to the precise location with medical supplies, ammunition, food, anything needed. And worst case scenario, we have a drone shut out. uh, but it's, at the end of the day, everything we do is with the main kind of like focus of saving lives. So
Right.
if we could get our soldiers more secure, that's what we're trying to do. That's the main goal. Zaki has a kid in the army, so he even feels that more. But I see all of my soldiers as my kids, and if I could somehow protect them more, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm grateful to have you guys helping me do that, because the IDF is doing whatever they can, but you need to understand they have limitations, and we're doing whatever we can to help the IDF also to be better and win quicker, because we understand there's a lot of difficulties, and we're doing whatever we can to be a key part and helping us get the total victory. That's at the end of the day what we're trying to do.
Well, absolutely. And the more equipment you can use to relieve the troops and help them with the least amount of people involved on the ground, then you're like you said, you have an opportunity to go save lives, but you also don't put any lives in jeopardy. So that's what those drones would be used for. I've seen a couple of videos you sent me, and the drone, I mean, when it's all deployed, it looks the size of a car.
it's
I
it's
mean,
a really big
it's
one, yeah.
amazing. And who was on the one you were saying me? Was it Moshe who was trying?
So Moshe, our guy, he is the sergeant for the unit. He works for a special. I won't say too much, but
No, don't say anything. No, yeah.
he works for a special defense Israeli company, and they do a lot of innovation. So one of the amazing things that we were able to do is get the best mind in the business, and they're part of our unit. So we're kind of like using the Israeli startup nation mentality with less bureaucracy, because we're reserves
Right.
and we first do and later on say sorry, or look, it's great, you guys could take the credit and copy it. And I think that is something that you don't see in a lot of armies, but in Israel, because of the amazing individuals we have in our unit and the reserves as a whole, It's completely game changer, and we're fortunate to be part of something this innovative and this big, and we're doing our part, and I hope we're doing it well.
uh, and we're going to continue our ministry. And I know you've got a lot of different connections, and you have a lot of friends. You guys are probably have a lot more many friends in America praying for you and wanting to help than you think, which is good because there's also in my field of study of anti-Semitism, I see how the world since October 7th has turned around against Israel, and it's almost becoming a trend. Like it's cool to be against Israel now, and people, especially young kids, they don't have a clue what they're talking about. And so I want you to know, I want you to go back home in a few days knowing that you have a lot of friends, and we take this matter very seriously. We pray for you guys. We pray for the IDF. How's the morale in the IDF? It's been what 13 months now. Do you guys have, I mean, because what's your job? Okay, let's start with that. What is your job? Tell me both of you what your jobs are. We're gonna find out that they're very different.
Yeah, I'm working in a company who make water drilling for drinking and agriculture in Israel, in the north of Israel.
Okay, and you?
I work for a cybersecurity company. Basically, I'm in charge of business development and closing the deals. This year has been tough for me because I've been mainly in reserves, but yes, our clients are from Verizon in the US, so maybe I'm protecting your internet on the day to day. Orange in France for you, Olivier.
Orange, yeah,
Orange. Bezek, and a lot of big companies. And the idea is, and yeah, we're completely different.
Yeah, you come and
Ashkenazi,
Ashkenazi,
Sephardi,
Sephardi, more religious, not so religious.
Yes.
but
But believe
believes
in
in
God.
God.
But believe in
Believes
God. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Now, friends. This is something very interesting. We were talking yesterday, and Zaki, we were joking about believe in God, the Bible, and Zaki says, "I'm not religious at all, but I believe in God." Now, in America, I don't know how that would work. It's not something you can really say. I mean, it's different. But what's amazing to me is that you come from completely two different backgrounds. You probably would never meet in your work in the work field.
If we live in America, I guess we never met, we never get friends. But the reality of life in Israel, make it.
Make it
We
happen.
met,
Yeah.
we met, and we are the best friend now. Although all the difference between us.
Yeah, we spent this year, I think, 200 nights together. So
Yeah.
I don't think my wife had so many nights with me this year.
Yeah, you see, I was talking to you before you came to our house, and I said, we have a couple of rooms for you guys. I hope it's going to be comfortable, And then you said, Olivier, I have spent more nights with Zaki than my wife's in the last few months. So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
So now, how's the morale? Because you get people from all walks of life, religious, not religious, and then you've been pushed into this conflict. Because you have no choice. It's an existential war that you're fighting. Are people, around you? Are they tired? Are they arguing? Is the political scene is that influencing your decision? I mean, what happens? I mean, how do you work together? Do you work together, or are there issues?
Yeah, I think the morale is high. It's very high in the regular army, in the reserve army. We understand. Everybody understand in Israel that it's not the war is not it's a duty for us. We have to do it.
Yeah.
We all see what happened in October 7, so we everybody in the army don't want to happen again. And like I said, the morale is high, and I have to say, if my morale was high when I came my trip here in America, see all the amazing people from all the churches and all the American who support us. It was one of the amazing things I've seen in my life. Thank you for all of you for this. Thank you.
Well, there's a saying that goes in America, and then I see a lot of people talking about Israel, and especially at this time after October 7th, talking about Israel, talking about, that Israel has the right to exist, which is true, of course. Israel, they're talking very positively about Israel, but I don't see, and I might get in trouble for saying this online. I don't see a lot of Christians actually doing something. And like Pastor Brandon, Pastor Tom, we've been doing things together. They're amazing, and and it's Pastor Brandon the other day was saying, you got to have some skin in the game. You got to show that you're actually doing something. And there's a saying in English that says nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And so that's important that we would show Israel and the IDF that we care and that we will do something to help. And I mean, we're just for me. So we adopted the unit. I can see your name, right? The unit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We adopted Unit 66. That's kind of like Route 66. Have you heard of Route 66?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So we got to come up with some kind of a song with Unit 66 or something. But we've adopted Unit 66. There's plenty of opportunities for people to do other things, but I think we can keep our people busy in just praying for you guys and helping supply more needs. So I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to this to be over. But until it's over, we're here, you're there, and we're gonna do whatever we can to make a difference. Outside of the drones, um, just give us some ideas of what day-to-day needs you guys have. There's things that people would take for granted. Go like, I can't believe they don't have enough of this.
So we also we added to our unit in the last couple of months new cameras. The cameras give us it's really special and pretty expensive cameras that allows us to see a few kilometers away, how thermal view, and the idea for those cameras are to see our enemies from far away,
Ahead of
and
time.
we have like special capabilities to terminate them, I would say. So this is more to do it from as far away. As I said, everything we do is in the belief, and the reason for that is to protect our soldiers. And day to day things. So yes, I think today we already have the basics for across. The IDF is doing their job, and we've been doing our job to get everyone aligned and having the same things. Um, and yes, there's always more small things, but I
Right.
think on the just for you guys to understand, Israeli IDF soldier from head to toe would be around $2,000 to equip. If I take an American soldier equipped, you're talking about $10,000 or more. So even when we're fully equipped and with the help of a lot of you guys, it's not the same kind of like ball game.
That's good.
Uh,
So for every U.S. military that we equip, we can do five in Israel.
Something like
Amen.
that, and also and I'm also taking night goggle and night vision and other things that are much more expensive. 10,000 is like the minimum in the U.S. I hope I'm not insulting the
No, no,
Ministry
no,
of
no.
Defense or something like
No, no,
that.
no. Those are the numbers are really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more money for Zaki because he has a big head.
Ah,
So the helmet is
yeah,
more
yeah.
expensive, right?
Yeah.
It's like $200 more for his for a
For his head.
custom hat.
Yes.
Hat.
Anyway,
Cowboy's hat.
well, so we're. I want to wrap this up. I don't want to make this too long, but I think with answer, we haven't really talked about, and maybe I wanted you to talk about this too. Maybe a couple more questions I want to ask, and then we'll wrap it up. Number one is how is we get an idea here, but bring this more to reality, like a reality check. How is the economy affected in Israel because of all this? Because everybody's been moved away from what they're doing. How are things running? What about the fields and the crops and the stuff that you grow? And I heard that there is also, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's also a lot of Arab helpers in Israel. That right now, not so much because of what's happening, and it might be that they might not be allowed or willing to come back after this is over. How is it affecting you guys now on the economy, and how is it going to change if it does?
You want to go? Go ahead.
Uh,
You
for
start. I'll finish.
the problem of the economy is like a defroze because it's almost 3,000 soldiers in reserve are serving in the unit, so they can go to their works in day works, and it's a problem.
Who's doing the farming right now?
Volunteers, workers from Thailand, from the Far East, but it's very expensive to the farmers to hire the Far East workers
Right.
because in a normal situation, the regular workers was Arab Palestinian who entered on a daily basis to Israel to work in building, in agricultures, and a lot of different works. And
Do you think the Arab Palestinians will get back to a place where they can work in Israel again?
I think
I think it's a need. Yeah, it's yeah. Go
go
ahead,
go
sorry.
go.
No, I think at the end of the day, it's a mutual need. You know, in Israel, we need those workers to be part, as Zaki said, in building and in agriculture and across restaurants. And for them, that's their economy. At the end of the day, what we thought during all the years is that, you know, the fact that we're letting them work in Israel and make 10 or 20 times more than they're making in Gaza,
That would
or
solve the problem.
that will solve the problem. But now we understand we need to get much more involved in a broader kind of like solution. But do do we want them to come back? That's one question. Will it happen because it's a need from both sides? Yes, but I really hope that this time it will be on a much more on a smarter way
Controlled.
and controlled way. You know,
And
we're seeing
safe.
and safe way, and also with kind of like I don't know how to say it in English, but like a carrot and like something that you give them the opportunity to work,
An incentive.
an incentive, and if God forbid they do something wrong,
They're gone.
they're
Fired.
gone. And today that's not the situation because you're seeing terrorist attack from Palestinians that have been working in Israel, and their families and themselves are not getting. They're getting to prison and they're getting like VIP treatment. So it needs to be a bigger solution that will
Right.
involve incentives on both ways and penalties also for your family members because if you're not getting that, they're actually getting from the Palestinian Authority money every month for being terrorists. That's
I know.
something we can't
That doesn't make any sense.
at all.
And we're getting, and I'm not going to get too political, but we're getting a lot of that nonsense in America right now. Hopefully, this will change. It makes no sense at all. And I think one of the hardest thing is going to be trust, because right now in Israel, trust has been broken, and to regain that trust it's going to take a while. And friends, this has been a great interview. It's been an honor to have you at Shalom and Messiah here, and you're always welcome. And I think maybe we don't want to speak too fast or too soon, but we might be doing some Israel Texas podcast in the near future.
We hope to do that.
And so we could get some fresh news and know exactly how to pray for you, know exactly what to send you. And so thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for with Texas. You have a home in Texas, and now we got to do something important. We're gonna go get ready to get you a cowboy hat. I mean, you're in Texas. This is the place, right? So we're gonna do that. Friends, again, we are going to continue our fund on our website. The Israel Ministries Fund is where you donate if you want to make a difference. I'm not going to list exactly all the details of what we are going to be getting, simply because for safety and security reasons, we don't want to give too many details online. But you have my word that whatever you're doing um, uh, making gifts towards the Israel Ministries Fund on Shalom and Messiah, 100% of that goes towards Israel Ministries, as we say, and it's going to help people like Elia and Zaki and their unit. So, like in the book of Esther, for such a time as this is now is the time to show our friends in Israel what we mean when we say we really care. Now is time to make a difference. And of course, we as believers, we do it because of what Yeshua did for us and how he gave us eternal life and give us salvation. And we want to look at the Bible and we see in Genesis 12:3, we want to bless the Jewish people, we want to bless Israel. And personally, I know that from my own life, the best blessing I ever got was 41 years ago when I decided that the Messiah of the Tanakh was Yeshua, Jesus. We don't all agree on that, but this is my decision I made, and my prayer is that more people would make that decision. In the meantime, friends, thank you for your support. Thank you for your prayers, and I will see you next time. God bless you. And
Last thing we want to say,
yes,
we want to wish, first of all, God bless America, Israel, and we hope the election day that everything goes according to God kind of like plan for us. So that's thank you very much for everyone. Thank you, Olivier and Helen, of course, for hosting us. Texas is amazing, and we'll be here hopefully soon again.
and I hope that tomorrow is Yom Teruah,
Amen.
the day of
Hashem.
Trump. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Gotta joke in Hebrew. I'm
All
sorry.
right.
Hebrew is not my first language.
No, but that was actually a good one.
All right. God bless. See you guys.
Bye bye.
Thank you.